Hey guys, Bottom25 here. Back another train simulator video. This time is a scenario of my own creation. I'll be taking this train, which is, I believe it's an F7. Actually, it might be an F9, I don't know. Let's see if I'm here to echo. This is Union Pacific's Challenger. Now some of you might be going, hang on, that's not a Challenger. Challenger is a 4664 steam locomotive. Yes, but the Challenger, I'm just getting the info up on my phone here, was also so I'm keeping an eye on the speed limit. We can open up the throttle a bit. So the Challenger was also a passenger train. It ran from Chicago too. I will tell you as soon as I find out. I have tried to put in some trains every now and then. Opposing traffic. Also, the carriages are G-Tracks lightweight carriages. I've tried to make this as accurate to the actual Challenger as I could, like the actual consist. I think I might have added an extra B unit, but who knows. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the... yes. Okay, now we shall start some braking to get us down to 20 miles per hour. And then we can run up to 90. We're just going to be going over some switches to get us onto the actual westbound track, because we're currently on the eastbound. So the Challengers were named passenger trains of the UP, Pacific, and the Chicago Northwestern Railroad, which was replaced in 1955 by the Milwaukee Road. The economy service ran between Chicago, Illinois and the West Coast. The trains had full Pullman service and coach seating, and were an attempt to draw the pressuring riders back to the rails. They did have sleepers though as well, as the thing. So I presume the Challengers were like kind of pre-war as well. And then they had the post-war version, which is this. So they ran from Chicago to Los Angeles or Oakland. I found one timetable online and I'm using that. Yeah, I don't know why these things are backwards, I'm sorry, but nothing I can do about that. To be fair, I could probably fix it, but too much. Well, I've already started this video. Don't worry, that it will be fixed for the next part of the scenario. There we go. Let's open up the throttle. So yeah, in reality the end of this would be a coach, but I put on a sleeper because that's what the G-Tracks coaches were like. So they use the overland route. They have reclining seat coaches. It's interesting because the one I found and the bloody equipment definitely said it had sleepers, so who knows. So that's just a diner, because it had two diners as well, post-war anyway. A coach, a lounge, or a dome coach maybe that was, another coach. I think what I did here is because the train consists of an articulated coach, which I don't have, is I just coupled up basically a sleeper and a diner. Yeah, no, we're blasting on a full power now. We'll have to make sure we don't exceed 70 miles per hour at that point, but Let's see, during the late 1930s, the Challenger fleet was among the highest patronized of American trains and the best revenue producers. Ah, yes, so I don't know if so basically what this Wikipedia is what they're discussing is the pre-war Challenger, because the Challenger name was the Challengers that I discuss here were discontinued in 47, but then were reintroduced as a streamliner in the 50s, and this is what this is. Because of course streamlined locomotive. I do like the look of these early diesels, honestly. We had a similar one in Hungary, the Nohabs. Except those were dual-ended. Or dual cabs, sorry. There was a cab at both ends as opposed to the way this is used, where you either couple an A unit to an A unit, or ABA or ABBA. A units are the ones with cabs, for those who are not familiar with railway terminology. And would you look at that? You got a Pacific Food Express adding by. I have also tried to get this thing as close to the actual schedule. There wouldn't actually be a stop at Echo, but I don't want to do the whole length of this route, because it's a bloody long. Well, one, it's a long route. Two, this is a 70 and 90 mile section, but most of it isn't. Like, most of it you do have to go pretty slowly. Let's see how close to 90 we can get, because these aren't FPs, these are F9, so they're geared for freight, I think. I'll try to tell you a bit more information that wasn't that isn't about the Depression era trains. On December 8, 1953, the Chicago and Northwestern Union Pacific announced that a Challenger between Chicago and Los Angeles would return with all streamlined equipment, i.e. this consist. On January 10, the first lightweight train set at the rails. The westbound Challenger completed its run in 39 hours 40 minutes. The eastbound ran 39 hours and 45. I'm not going to tell you the exact departures. In February 1955, Dome Coach survived the Challenger, the first on any Union Pacific train. Let's make sure to sound the horn here. 2 long, 1 short, and then 1 long one until we reach the crossing. So this is with Chicago Northwestern over divisions of passenger revenues, led UP to switch to the Milwaukee Road for service to Chicago's Union Station. The trains had up to then terminated at Northwestern Station. Beginning November 55, the Milwaukee Road embarked upon a repainting program, and all its passenger rolling stock received Union Pacific Armour Yellow and Harbour Mist Grey colours. The Milwaukee retained its traditional orange and black livery for freight units. The Milwaukee Road received that portion of operating revenue generated between Omaha and Chicago and furnished 25% of the equipment used on the line. Challenger was combined between Chicago and Omaha with the Milwaukee Road's Midwest Hiawatha, and appeared in the timetable as the Challenger Midwest Hiawatha. Departure from LA switched to 10 p.m. to allow a day trip east of Omaha. This ended in spring 56 when a cost-cutting measure the Challenger and City of Los Angeles were combined on the City of Los Angeles schedule. Okay. It reappeared as a separate train with morning departure from Chicago and 2 p.m. departure from LA. In summer and holiday season 57-58, but after summer 1960, it ran on the City of Los Angeles schedule year-round. And then consolidation, as you can see, like when rail travel starts to decline. But for the moment, let's focus here a bit, as I'm going to need to start braking. We'll also apply the dynamic brake. I doubt it's really necessary, but yeah, better safe than sorry. So further consolidation. We'll keep her steady at 50 for the moment. So further consolidation occurred in the 60s and by 1970. The Challenger, City of Denver, City of Los Angeles, City of Portland, City of San Francisco were combined into one giant train across Wyoming called by some the City of Everywhere. I presume what they mean is they put all the consists together instead of having... Basically they would meet up at some point, all have the whole consist coupled up, and then have that train head to Chicago instead of... Basically, instead of 5 Union Pacific trains coming into Chicago, you'd have one big one. Bigger. The Dome Diners were removed from the City of Portland in 68, City of Los Angeles in 70. The Dome coaches and Dome Lounge cars remained until the coming of Amtrak. Amtrak discontinued all UP trains, same for a modified City of San Francisco via BN to Denver, thence via UP, BN I presume Burlington Northern, to Denver, thence via UP's overland route to Ogden and SP to Oakland, San Francisco, I assume long distance operations. And that's basically the story of the Challenger. And we're just about to enter the more Canyonlands areas. And the reason I want to film this is because I think I haven't gone over a good chunk of this route westbound. I've gone over it eastbound, but you haven't seen the whole length of the route, I think, going westbound, because the westbound tracks are different. They go on a different route. I'm actually going to coast and just very gently apply the dynamic brake to get that set up. Actually, I might need to step on the brakes a bit as well. Actually, are these air brakes or vacuum brakes? I'm sorry if people think I'm stupid. I don't live in the US. I've never travelled on a US train. I intend to change that though. Well, I intend to, I don't exactly. I can't give you a concrete date for that, but basically it's like, I know I think it is air brake, by the way. So if I had to put money I would say air brake, but not 100% certain. I think the British had vacuum brakes. So I know for sure the British had vacuum brakes. But anyway, yes, so now we're just descending into these curvy tracks. I would love to go over this route today. Which, yes, was a possibility. You could buy a $3,000 ticket on the Big Boy when that was, well, behind Big Boy in the 844. One, I wasn't in the US at the time, and two, now I like the Big Boy. I'd be willing to pay up to, I'd be willing to pay a few $100 to go to ride behind it. 3,000 is a bit outside my price range. Now it looks like the drizzle's cleared off a bit. It might come back because I've got showers set as the weather. So yeah, of course the eastbound tracks are that. I know I seem to have basically perfected the dynamic brake setting. I kind of like to sit at the back of the train so you can see the entire train just kind of snaking ahead of you. Then I'm going to bring... Oops. Now let's see as to whether... Okay, for the moment we are coasting. I always like these canyoners just for the curving. Let's give her a bit of power. Of course, some of you might be wondering why we don't really see B units like this anymore. I think the reason is just utility. You can have, also nowadays, you don't really have kind of streamlined full car body designs, I think is the term. Like you have the railing along the side and as such, you can kind of operate those trains in either direction. It's probably better to go with cab going forwards, and usually you have the cab forwards on the leading unit, but I have seen on some smaller railroads, some branch lines, that they do operate kind of just either way. Now, so the reason we don't have B units is because B units can only be used, in conjunction with another train. Or another locomotive, I mean. Now you could either have that, or you could have a separate locomotive with cab and everything that you can control from another unit, or if necessary, but then when you're shunting in the yard, essentially, you can treat that as a separate unit. Whereas you couldn't with this, you had to kind of have both, or in my case, all three units moving together. Basically, you just have more flexibility with actual cabbed units. I'm sorry, I'm not an expert on this, I'm kind of just explaining. I don't know much of the terminology because as you might be able to tell, I've never worked on a railroad in my life. Now we're going into some tunnels here. Oh. Alright, sound the horn. "1916. That's when that tunnel was opened. Okay, a bit more. Now we'll be crossing over the railway here. Or over the... So we switch to the other side of the track. We're at a higher elevation though. Now some of you might be wondering why they didn't just have one line, or the two tracks next to each other. I do not know. Braking. I'll save here and I'll turn off the mic and the face cam. Yeah, see you guys in Echo. Okay guys, technical difficulties I've just noticed on the map. I put the last... I basically put this thing in the wrong place. I was only one over. Oh, there are manual switches, so we'll just pull in next to them and leave it at that. I only said the scenario, but that's fine, I can just shove him over. Look. I still want to complete the scenario, so I will probably just after the video's over back up and get it there, but yeah, I'll edit the scenario, shove him over to that. Well, actually probably to this track, and then everything will be fine. I'm sorry, I make mistakes sometimes, I'm not an expert, I did notice this. I don't know how I did notice this, but I did not. Shit, that's putting it right there. Emergency. Okay. Now what we're going to do is very gently back out. Well, no, we didn't derail. We're still very much on the tracks. But anyway, yeah, sorry. That was a scenario I made there. Still some issues. I'll debug those. But anyway, I'll see you for the next part. I'm Boston25. Goodbye.